Tony from the Life Graduate Publishing Group, and welcome to another video. Today's video is all about the freedom that self-publishing can give. So today I've decided to take a day where I'm going to be working out of the office, and I'm actually in the Australian bushland today in the tropical area of southern Australia, and it's such a beautiful area of the world. And these are the things that I've worked really hard to be able to get to, because self-publishing provides you with the platform to be able to do those things that you've always dreamed about doing. And by creating passive income for yourself, you get the opportunity to work out of office. You can work from really anywhere in the world. You just bring your laptop and you get to work in amazing places like I'm in today. So how have I been able to get to the position where I can create enough passive income to be able to work remotely and to be able to create the revenue from the books, particularly the lower content books and no content books that I have over the past 18 months, to be able to have this flexibility? So firstly, I made a conscious decision about what I really wanted to do. What was it that was going to drive me every single day to be able to create, to be able to publish, and get up early, work hard throughout the day, work a bit into the night, but also make sure that I had that balance between working the hours which were going to be supportive to family and friends as well, and also at the same time work hard to be able to generate that passive income for the publishing. So I made that conscious decision that I needed to focus on a few key niche areas, and the first couple of niche areas didn't really work out for me. I tried it. I went through the process of creating the books. The covers weren't great and they didn't go particularly well. But what I learned from that process, obviously by failing first, was that I learned how to become more creative and know particularly what the customer wanted to do or what they wanted to buy. Because if you don't have an understanding of what the customer wants and you're only thinking about what you like, you might miss out some great opportunities. So the first one was actually getting to know the platform of Amazon, but also listening to a lot of content. So I used to listen to, well, I still do, a lot of content when I walk or when I exercise, but also taking notes and doing courses as well, which were going to help my low content and no content books. The other main thing that I needed to focus on was not just thinking about the one revenue stream. And too many people are focused on just generating low content books or even high content books on a platform, such as Amazon. But it's thinking a bit broader than that. It's looking at areas such as passive income, such as going through to Ingram Spark, or even being creative and going to platforms like Redbubble. And if you can generate enough passive income streams from a variety of different sources, that will help you to be able to generate multiple different sources of income streams that you need. One of the big lessons I've learned as well on the way is to ensure that you never are just reliant on the one income stream. So initially it was Amazon when I was relying on, but I went through a few flat spots, and it was important that I actually loaded my books to Ingram Spark as a separate way of generating passive income, because when Amazon went down, Ingram Spark went up. And it was fascinating that at the beginning of 2021, Amazon started going up, but Ingram Spark dropped significantly in the months of about March and April. And I don't know to this day why, because with Ingram Spark, you actually can't see what platforms your books are being sold on or where they're selling from. With Amazon, you can actually do those reporting and find out whether it's from the UK, from the US, from Canada, from Australia, or any other international market. So it's important that you think about ways that you can continue to expand your brand, not just rely on the one income source, such as Amazon, but you broaden that so that you're not too reliant on the one source, because if that happens to go down, then you compromise the growth of your business. The other main key or learning curve for me as well was that it's important to still, if you can, maintain some form of employment that allows you to still generate some income while building your publishing business. Because too many people get a good month on Amazon, such as November or December, like I did, and then think that they're well on their way. And then they hit maybe February or March and income drops, and then they start to panic, and they may not produce the quality of material that is required to allow you to work with the freedom without having a job. So one of the things that I've learned was to hold on to a form of employment for as long as you can. And by doing that, you give yourself peace of mind, even if it's 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and you give yourself peace of mind that you've got the income coming in, which might cover utilities or groceries, might be a mortgage, any of those sort of ongoing costs. And you can continue building your publishing business on the side. So you can do it in the mornings. So that might mean getting up earlier. And I've got a very early rising schedule. Again, it doesn't suit everybody, but it suits me. So you need to get the schedule that is going to suit you the best. So for example, my morning schedule, I get up at approximately 4:40 in the morning. I then go and do some push-ups and sit-ups, and then I'll go for my exercise and my walk, get back, have breakfast, do a meditation, and then I start to get into work pretty early. And even on the days that I am working, I'll continue that schedule until about 8:30 in the morning. Then I start some paid employment, and then at the end of the day at about 5:30, I can go back to doing publishing. And therefore, I'm still getting around about 4, maybe 5 hours per day, even on those days that I'm employed, to build the publishing business. And even though I'm still doing a little bit of that paid employment, it now gives me that flexibility, and I'm likely probably very soon to not have to do that or have that income, that secondary income stream. Although what it does provide me with is a source of social contact as well. And that's important. You can't, as a self-publisher, lock yourself away and not have that social contact. And I've found that self-publishing can be a bit isolating at times, where you commit so much time to doing it, and you tend to have a real passion for it, that you can become quite insular. But having some other form of employment, not only does it provide you with some financial stability, it also provides you with the social element, which is really important. So I've continued to sort of do that, and I highly encourage you to do that as well. Even if you start to get towards your goal, which might be $10,000 per month. If that's your goal, and if that's what you call your breakaway goal, where that might be your way of working remotely all the time, then that's great. That's what that's what you need to achieve to do. But I probably wouldn't completely break away from paid employment until you're consistently getting the $10,000, maybe over 3 or 4 months, because then you can actually see the consistency coming in, and maybe that income's coming in over a number of different income sources and not just one platform like Amazon. But as I'm demonstrating as well, today is one of those days where I've decided to work remotely. Don't have to be at home. I can come for an early morning walk like I am now, enjoy the beautiful rainforest, and then get into work. I'm not having to commute. I'm not having to be in an office space. I can set myself up, either I can have a mobile office near the beach or in the rainforest today, and they're the things that self-publishing allows you to do. And I think it's an incredible business model, because it doesn't have a ceiling or a cap on what you can actually create. And that's a great business model, because you don't want a business model that has a limitation on how much you can grow. And with books, you can continue to expand that resource or that portfolio of your books for years to come. And it's proving to be quite a profitable business model for many people. And what I love about the model is that even when I'm asleep at night, books are being sold, they're being distributed for me, they're being printed, customer service are dealing with any issues with returns or anything like that if the book's damaged on the way. And I continue to get a revenue stream no matter where I am or what I'm doing. Whereas if you, in some typical jobs, if you're working, for example, if you're an electrician, you are only going to get paid for the work that you do renovating or helping build a house. And if you go to sleep at night, you don't get paid during the middle of the night, do you? You only get paid for the work that you're doing. And if you're unwell or you get injured at work, then that income will dry up. Whereas with self-publishing, if you set yourself up properly, that income will continue to come in. Yes, there are plenty of moving parts with self-publishing, such as Amazon ads and book creation, monitoring finances, all those sorts of things as well. So these are the sort of things that I love about self-publishing. Now I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to continue in a moment from a new location, and I'll continue to tell you why I love the self-publishing model so much. So the last part of my video is about investing back into your business or into your publishing business, and ensuring that you're always looking at ways that you can scale your business. And one of those ways is either by engaging other people that might be able to help with illustrations, that third-party people that might be able to help with scaling or helping with your Amazon ads. But never be afraid to be able to reinvest back into your business. If you develop books, whether they be low content, no content, high content books, importantly, you need to ensure that you're putting some of that money back into your business, because if you don't, then you're always going to be limited. So one of the things that I would always encourage you to do is, if you do start to get revenue through from your book sales, make sure you are using some of those funds to invest back into that business. And one of those areas is to ensure that any marketing that you do is considered as an investment. Some people think it's a waste of money. I certainly wouldn't consider it that way, because any dollar that you're putting into your books or into the marketing is actually brand awareness. And if you are building a brand, even though someone might not buy your book the first time, they will see your brand and it becomes familiar. So any of those impressions that you'll get are actually ways that people can see your brand as you grow. And I've noticed that plenty of my books, they might not buy the first book they see, but they recognize the brand, and then they might see another book I've developed, which they then go ahead and purchase. And they might like one book and they might purchase another book 6 months later. So they're the things you need to consider as well. And part of the journey is getting to know the things that work and looking at different ways that you can do that. So anyway, I just wanted to write this. I just wanted to let you know of ways that you can ensure that you're growing your publishing business, that you're thinking of different ways that you can scale, and looking at different methods that will provide that passive income. Because it's a great feeling when you can do what you're passionate about and move in a position where you're generating that passive income, whether you're awake or asleep, and they're the automated processes that are put in place as part of publishing, and that's why I love it so much. So I hope you've liked this video, and I'll be producing more content. Just make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give me the thumbs up if you've liked the video, and I look forward to providing more quality content for you at my next video. So have a good day.